Hey friends, this is Jennifer Terri. I make Philippine travel updates. In this video, we'll talk about international flights and also entry requirements for other countries. Now let's go to international flights. So international flights in Clark. Okay, so let's start with their international, with the Middle East countries. Emirates, Dubai to Clark, Clark to Dubai. That's every Monday, Friday, and Sunday po. There's also Qatar Airways, Doha to Clark, Clark to Doha. Yan, every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out 6 times a week. Marami pala. Next up for flights from Asia, Jetstar po, Singapore to Clark, Clark to Singapore. Scoot, Singapore to Clark, Clark to Singapore. Remember guys, if you're transiting in Singapore, you need to show an RT-PCR 48 hours before departure. There's also Jeju Air, Incheon, Clark, Clark to Incheon. Yan, sa mga kababayan din sa Korea, or even from America, you can take this flight. There's a layover in Korea. For domestic flights in Clark guys, it's only very limited. Okay, dalawang flights lang po. Cebu to Clark, Clark to Cebu. And then for Philippine Airlines, there's Cebu to Clark, Clark to Cebu. So, sa mga uuwi pa ng province na maglaland sa Clark, pwede po kayong mag-take ng flight pa Cebu. Sa Cebu, marami pong domestic flights. Moving forward, this is our last update for flights to or from Cebu. Don't worry, as soon as I get info for November, I'll share it to you. But there would be more flights expected for November in Cebu. So for now, what we know is there's Qatar Airways, Doha to Cebu, Cebu to Doha, araw-araw, daily. There's also Emirates, Dubai to Cebu, Cebu to Dubai, 2 times weekly po, Tuesday and Thursday. And then there's Singapore to Cebu, Cebu to Singapore, 4 times weekly. Wow, grabe. Last time parang 2 times weekly lang to. Ito yung flight na sinakyan ko guys. Okay to. And then there's Cathay Pacific, Hong Kong to Cebu, Cebu to Hong Kong, 3 times weekly. Yung pa Cebu, and then pa Hong Kong is 1 times weekly. Not many Filipinos will have a vacation here in the Philippines, our Filipinos in Hong Kong, because Hong Kong has very strict quarantine requirements for travelers from the Philippines. The last update I know, mga 14 days to 21 days. Napakahaba guys. Kaya kahit Hong Kong is already a green country, for anyone fully vaccinated coming from Hong Kong going to the Philippines, no quarantine. Unfortunately, going back to Hong Kong, you still need to quarantine. And this is yun nga, it discourages our kababayans to go home. Anyway, moving forward, Jeju Air guys, there's also Incheon to Cebu, Cebu to Incheon 1 times a week every Friday. Jin Air, Incheon to Cebu, Cebu to Incheon every Wednesday. And then Los Angeles to Cebu, yan Cebu with Philippine Airlines every Saturday. And then there's San Francisco to Cebu, Cebu to San Francisco every Monday. Then Narita to Cebu, Cebu to Narita. This was on October pa. But I'll share to you the Philippine Airlines flight schedule for November 2. And this is it. So reminder guys by the Philippine Airlines that flight arrival restrictions are in place in Manila, in other airports too. Kaya don't be surprised if your flight is rerouted to Cebu, Clark, Lawag, Davao, or Subic. It's being triangulated because yun nga, limited travel cap. So it's not the fault of Philippine Airlines, guys. Kung Philippine Airlines lang, they want more flights. They don't want to cancel your flights. They're already bankrupt, diba? Anyways, guys, these are PAL flights for November and beyond. Let's start with their flights to or from the US. There's Manila to Los Angeles. A lot of flights na guys. It's increase of flights talaga from the US. 9 times a week. Wow. Pero 2 times kada Monday or Friday. And then there's Los Angeles to Manila. 8 times a week. Yan. You have to book with the dates or according to the schedule. But then starting November 22, it's going to be 10 times a week. Wow. Los Angeles to Cebu yan. If you're from Los Angeles, you want to land in Cebu, then book for Wednesday or Friday, effective November 3. So tomorrow, you guys, if you want to land in Cebu, talagang i-timing nyo naman. Wednesday or Friday. And then there's Manila to San Francisco daily until November 6. And then effective November 7, 5 times a week na lang. Okay. Not too bad. And then there's San Francisco to Manila daily. Manila to New York 2 times a week guys. And then 3 times a week na siya every November 9. New York to Manila every Thursday and Saturday. And then starting November 30, it's going to be 3 times a week. So there's been an increase in flights talaga to accommodate for the holiday season. So let's check some prices. Tara. Let's go to Philippine Airlines. Let's check some prices. Let's do LA. Guys, don't forget to like this video pala. Okay, let's go Los Angeles. Los Angeles to Manila. Let's do November 15. And then going back to Los Angeles, gawin na lang natin, isama na natin yung Pasko. So, I will do November 28. And then babalik ka ng January 3. So, you'll be there in the Philippines throughout December for the Christmas and the New Year. Okay, this is Los Angeles to Manila. Mahina ang internet, guys. Alright, here we are. Los Angeles to Manila for November 28. The cheapest we can find here is $1,277.70 US. That includes two pieces at 23 kilos or 50 pounds per piece. Then cancellation after departure is allowed with a fee, no show fee allowed with a fee. Okay. How about flights going back to Los Angeles, Manila to Los Angeles? Okay, there is cheaper price, $835.57. So if we take this flight, if we stay in the Philippines for the whole month, alright, we leave Los Angeles on November 28, then we go back on January 3. The total price, including taxes and everything, is at $2,113.27 US. Mahal-mahal siya, guys. Okay, next up, let's check San Francisco. San Francisco to Manila. Yan. So, assuming that you'll be leaving the Philippines mid-December. Okay, so you go to Manila on November 16. You go back to San Francisco on December 16. Yan. Let's see how much this flight will cost us. You have to consider the other expenses too, guys, when traveling to the Philippines. For example, the COVID test, hotel quarantine. Yan. Okay, for San Francisco to Manila, on November 16 is at $1,277. Oh, it's the same price with the Los Angeles flight. And then San Francisco to Manila, the cheapest we can find, this one's cheap, $465.57. So the total, if you want to stay mid-November and then go back mid-December to San Francisco, is at $1,743.27 US. Yan, mahal-mahal talaga, guys. Okay, let's go back to the flights. Now, let's do Manila to Honolulu, Honolulu to Manila once a week every Friday. And then Manila to Guam 3 times a week, Guam to Manila 3 times a week as well. Reminder for travel to the US, guys, starting November 8, there's a big change. The big change mainly affects foreign nationals. So non-US citizens and non-legal permanent residents of the US, you need to be fully vaccinated when entering the USA. So you need proof of vaccinations. It has to be complete dose. And then a negative test result taken within 72 hours before departure and your visa. That's the main thing. That's the requirements of the US. While for US citizens and legal permanent residents entering the US, if vaccinated, you need proof of vaccination and then a negative test result 72 hours before departure. Within 72 hours before departure. While if you're unvaccinated, that's okay. You are not mandatorily required to be vaccinated if you're a US citizen or a legal permanent resident. You just need to show a negative test result taken 24 hours within departure. So you can either do RT-PCR test or an antigen test. And please also consider if there is any requirements by your layover country. If it's with PAL, it's a direct flight, so easy, just take an antigen test. But if you're flying with another airlines, there's a layover, check if they have a COVID test specific requirement. Moving forward, Canada. Canada, a lot of Filipinos in Canada. What are the flights of Philippine Airlines tour from Canada? Let's see. Manila to Toronto, that's 1 time a week every Wednesday. Toronto to Manila every Thursday. Manila to Vancouver, Vancouver to Manila every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Reminder for the requirements for flights to Canada, you need to show a negative test result taken within 72 hours before departure. So vaccinated or not, you need to show a negative test result. Or for those who recently recovered, you can show a positive test result that was taken between 14 and 180 days before the scheduled departure. Antigen tests are not accepted. You also have to show ArriveCan receipt. So there is a portal or there's also an app where you have to upload your travel requirements prior to boarding. So you need to submit travel and contact info, 14 days travel history, quarantine plan. So if you're unvaccinated, you need to show a quarantine plan, vaccine status, yan. And then if you're vaccinated, bring also your proof of vaccination. The approved vaccines of Canada, medyo strict itong Canada, guys. They accept only Moderna, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and Janssen. So as Sinopharm, Sinovac are not accepted. That's sad, Canada. So if you qualify as a fully vaccinated traveler, you don't need to quarantine. You can show your negative test result, your ArriveCan. Sometimes they randomly select an arrival test, so depende. You're exempted from quarantine. You're also exempted from a day 8 testing. And reminder for Canadians, Canadians are always eligible to enter Canada, vaccinated or not. But if you're unvaccinated, you must complete testing requirements and mandatory quarantine if you do not qualify as a fully vaccinated traveler. Yan. Well, next up let's check some prices pala for flights to and from Canada. Oops, flights to from Canada. Haba ng video, guys. I hope you're still with me. Sa mga you're still watching, please comment down below. You're a legend. Okay, let's do Canada. Vancouver to Manila. Yan, Vancouver to Manila. Let's do November 25. And then you go back to Canada on January 3. So if we take this flight, Vancouver to Manila leaves on November 25. The price the cheapest price we can find here is at 1,424.36 Canadian dollars. This is a direct flight, guys. If you want merong mga layover in other countries, it's more expensive. I don't see any reason why you should lay over when it's more expensive. So I'll go with the cheapest price, direct flight. And then going back to Vancouver, let's see. There's 915.60 Canadian dollars. So total price for this, if you want to fly with Philippine Airlines, guys, and you book today or within this week, you leave on November 25, go back on January 3 Canadian dollars. Total price 2,339. Yan, guys. That already includes taxes and everything. If you want extra luggage, kilos, you have to pay more. Okay, let's go with other areas. Australia and New Zealand. There's been good news for travelers to or from Australia, no? Let's start with New Zealand, Manila to Auckland. Special flights only. November 14, 12, 16, January 9, and 16. If you want to avail these special flights, you need to register for a link or get in touch directly with Philippine Airlines, guys. While for Australia flights, there are more flights in Australia because Australia has relaxed their travel restrictions inbound and outbound. Let's start with Manila to Brisbane flights. There's December 3, 11, 15, 20, 22, and 27. There's also Brisbane to Manila. Yeah, and the next day after 4, 12, 16, 21, 23, and 28. Manila to Melbourne, 18 and 25. That's 2 times a week. Wow! Oh my gosh, there's already a schedule. I'm so happy. Two times a week starting from December 2 to December 30. Wow. Before only special flights, ngayon may schedule na. And then Melbourne to Manila, that's special dates as well. Hindi ko na babasahin guys ha. And then Manila to Sydney. Ang dami namin ng flights. Two times a week effective November 5 until November 19. And then three times a week Tuesday, Friday at Saturday. November 20 to 30. Wow, for December, oh my gosh, napakaraming flights. I'm so happy. Yan, I'm not gonna read it all, but halos every day marong flights. Aww. And then Sydney to Manila, same thing, two times a week. Then magiging three times a week siya starting November 21. They have so many flights for December. Aww, I'm so happy. For for flights in Australia, remember that starting yesterday, November 1, Australian citizens, permanent residents, and their immediate families will be able to travel outside Australia without a travel exemption. No need to apply for travel exemption, no need for statutory declaration or everything like that. As long as you're fully vaccinated, you can travel out of the country. The outbound ban is lifted for Aussies, permanent residents, and their families who are fully vaccinated. Another good news is that for returning citizens, permanent residents, and immediate families will be able to enter New South Wales via Sydney and Victoria via Melbourne without quarantine. We don't have to pay for the very expensive hotel quarantine. I think almost more than $3,000 as long as you're fully vaccinated. That's so happy. If you have the Medicare COVID-19 what you call this record, you can show that, or you can also show the national digital certificate of the country. So for example, Vaxcert PH or pwede din yung BOQ yellow card. Yan, Australia accepts Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Johnson, Moderna, Sinovac, AstraZeneca, yan. Sana all tumatanggap ng Sinovac. While for flights to from Europe, there's only Manila to London, London to Manila. These are only special flights. November 9, 23, 7, and 14, January 4 and 11. Good news din pala for travelers from the UK. We are not on red anymore, so when returning to the UK, you don't have to hotel quarantine as long as you're fully vaccinated. Okay, let's check naman. Let's check the prices. Does it show on the website? I'm gonna choose Sydney, guys. So let's say you're going to December 1 and then return to the Philippines January 3. Let's see how much is the price. Ay, walang available. Okay. There's December 1, 1,395 Australian dollars. And then going back here, going back to Sydney, oh my gosh, 1,042. I think ano siya guys, parang yeah, mas mahal talaga. It's I think parang 50% more expensive compared to the normal times. There you go. I don't usually fly with Philippine Airlines. I fly with the cheapest, Cebu Pacific. Kaya this is, yeah, I'm not so familiar with Philippine Airlines flight Sydney to Manila prices. But anyways, so here's the ticket for December 1, Sydney to Manila. This includes 25 kilos check-in luggage with 7 kilos hand carry, 1,395, and then going back, 1,042. Total price, guys, if you want to have a vacation in the Philippines, be there for Christmas, be there for New Year, you're from Sydney, yan, 2,438 Australian dollars. At least ito na lang yung gagastusin nyo. You don't have to pay for the quarantine hotel. That's big savings. Okay. Let's see if flights to Auckland or from Auckland will show here at the website. Unlimited rebooking na. Pero pagka na-cancel yung flight nyo guys, tapos magre-rebook, minsan may fare difference. Ano ba yan? Auckland. Oops, wrong spelling. Auckland. I wanna go to New Zealand. But New Zealand still has quarantine for the fully vaccinated. Auckland to Manila. Ano nga yung dates guys for Auckland? Let's do December 16. December 16. And then pabalik ng Auckland. Oh, same. Okay, let's do January 9. But I think New Zealand will follow Australia soon. Their vaccination rate is also increasing. Humahabol. Okay, let's see. Auckland to Manila on December 16. That's around 1,799 New Zealand dollars. And then for Manila to Auckland, you go back to Auckland on January 9, that's 1,831 New Zealand dollars. So total, let's see. Yan. 3,630 New Zealand dollars, guys. Full package na to, ha. This includes taxes and hand carry of check-in luggage for 25 kilos. Okay? Yun siya, guys. Now, let's go back. Let's go to Asia flight. So, flights to or from Asia. Yan, Manila to Singapore, napakadami, guys. 10 times a week. Daily, guys. Araw-araw may flights hanggang November 30. Pagka December 1, magiging 12 times a week. Tapos, pagka February 1, magiging 2 times daily. So, 14 flights per week starting February 1. So, napakadaming flights sa Singapore. Then there's Manila to Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur to Manila, that's 1 times a week, kada Saturday. Pero starting December 1, 2 times a week. Then Manila to Hanoi, Hanoi to Manila, only a special flight, December 13 lang. Then Manila to Saigon, November 10, 24, December 8, and 22. Manila to, sorry guys, nakalimutan ko paano i-read to. Phnom Penh, December 3, 14, and 28. And then there's also Manila to Jakarta, December 7, 21, and 28. Meron ding 1 times a week, effective December 5. Madami na talaga flights, guys. Jakarta to Manila, 1 times a week, starting December 6. Pero for this November, meron lang 8, 22, at 29. Sa December, meron ding 9 and 16. Sa mga kababayan natin sa Korea, there's Manila to Seoul to Manila, 3 times a week, kada Wednesday, Thursday, at Saturday. Sa mga kababayan natin sa Thailand, good news din because Philippines is already included in the approved countries for no quarantine if you're fully vaccinated. Yay! So Manila to Bangkok, Bangkok to Manila, 1 times a week po until November 30, and then there's 2 times a week every Wednesday and Sunday. Manila to Tokyo, Haneda, 4 times a week. Let's check some prices. Let's check. Try natin yung Singapore. Magkano yung Singapore? So let's do Singapore. Unfortunately, guys, yung Singapore hindi na green country kasi marami ng cases nila. Singapore to Manila. Okay, so magpapasko ka sa Pilipinas. So ilalagay ko dito November 29, babalik ka ng January 2. So sobrang 1 month ka magsistay sa Pilipinas. Tingnan natin. Magkano yung price? Yan. Ay, mahal. Singapore to Manila, 1,031.40 Singaporean dollars. Included na yung 25 kilos na check-in, luggage. And then Manila to Singapore, mas mura, 500.90 Singaporean dollars. So, total price, guys, if magsistay ka sa Pilipinas sa Pasko at New Year, aalis ka noong November 29, 1,535.30 Singaporean dollars. Yan. I-try natin yung Manila to Tokyo. Tokyo, sa mga kababayan natin, Haneda to, guys, sa Japan. So, i-try natin November 25, balik ka ng Japan ng mga January 3. Oops. So, Tokyo to Manila, guys. Ito nakita natin, November 28 is at 1,223,810 Japanese yen. And then, Manila to Tokyo, nasa 49,850 Japanese yen. Ako ng difference, grabe. Yan, if you take this flight, guys, di pala tayo nakapili. Yan. Oops, napili ko yung mahal. Wait. Yung mura lang atin. So this is Tokyo to Manila, Manila to Tokyo. You stay in the Philippines for the whole Christmas and New Year. So total price with Philippine Airlines, aalis ka ng November 26, babalik ka ng January 3, 173 and 660 Japanese yen. Yan, 173,000 Japanese yen. Magkano yan in Philippine peso? I'm curious. Yen to PHP. Oh, 77,000. Medyo mahal. Pero at least, ano na yan, round trip ticket. Mahal pa rin. Balik tayo sa ating flight schedules. Meron din tayong Cebu to Tokyo yan. Special days lang din. November 6, 20, December 4 at 18. Manila to Fukuoka 4 times a week. Manila to Osaka, Osaka to Manila daily guys. Manila to Nagoya, Nagoya to Manila 4 times a week. Then, Manila to Hong Kong 3 times a week. Sa Taipei, meron tayo mga 2 times a week. Yan, Dubai. Daily, Dammam, sa mga kababayan natin sa Saudi Arabia. Meron ding Riyadh. Meron ding Doha. Ito guys, ito mga Middle East flights. Mabilis mapuno kasi napakadami nating kababayan sa Middle East. Mga OFWs. Tingnan natin kung may available pa ba. Try natin yung Riyadh to Manila. Yan, Riyadh to Manila. So, try natin, uuwi ka November 3rd, November 30. Actually, yung mga uuwi, diba, ilang months ba yung ano nyo guys? Yung break niyo. So, assuming ko lang ha na 1 month. Assume ko lang na 1 month. So, babalik ka ng January 10. Depende kasi yan, diba? Kung bakasyon lang or kung ano you call this, end of contract. Okay, yan. Riyadh to Manila, wala nang available. Puno na guys. As expected. Mabilis talaga mapuno kasi itong Saudi Arabia, napakaraming kababayan dito. Tingnan natin kung may mahanap pa tayo sa next year na lang. Next year, Riyadh to Manila. I-try natin next year. February. Gawin ko ng February, guys. Uuwi ka ng February 14. Birthday ko yan, guys. And then, babalik ka ng Riyadh ng 1 buwan ka magsistay sa Pilipinas. Tingnan natin kung may available flights. Ginawa ko na talagang February. Yan, meron. Meron sa February, guys. Layo pa. Yan, February. Tingnan natin. For February 14, yan, 3,914 Saudi Arabian Riyals. And then, kung babalik ka ng Riyadh, 1 buwan lang ka magstay sa Pilipinas. Yan, lumalabos na pagkabisaya ko. Mga nasa 1,855 Saudi Arabian Riyal. So, total price, yan, kung magbabakasyon ka sa Pilipinas ng 1 buwan, alis ka ng February 14, babalik ka ng March 14, 5,770 Saudi Arabian Riyals. Yan. Magkano yan sa Philippine peso? I'm curious. Oh my gosh. Ay, nasobraan yung 7. Yan. 76,000. Parang lang din, price ng ticket ng Tokyo. Okay. Yan guys, ang presyo ng ticket. So guys, sa mga kababayan nating OFW, yung pinakamaganda talaga yung direct flight para wala na kayong requirements na kailangan i-comply sa layover country. Pero okay lang naman kung may layover. Okay, reminder lang po na yung mga kababayan nating OFWs, libre lahat, pati yung pag-uwi kayo ng Pilipinas, libre hotel, libre swab test, libre yung domestic flight, sagot po yan ng OWA or ng Marina. Ay, Jennifer, expired na po, hindi na po ako member ng OWA, na-expire na po yung membership ko, that's okay. Okay lang kahit hindi member ng OWA. Kasi hindi naman OWA na gumagastos, national government, mga taxpayers po. Kahit hindi ka member ng OWA, basta OFW ka, libre. Pati mga kapamilya ninyo, libre din. So that is all the update, guys. All I can share about international flights. Please take care po. God bless and stay safe. I'll see you with another video. Bye!